So I'm going to explain the rules really quickly. I'm going to spin for 20 wrestlers. Then I'm going to rank them after the fact, so not blind, and give a reason why I put them in the spots I put them. So let's start off with Mick and Woods. Okay, two really solid starts. I already know I'm going to put Mick quite high. Goldust and X-Buck. Okay, I don't have a stinker yet. Somebody that I know is going to be number 20 yet. I'll probably get there. This is so tough. Edge and Y2J. Okay, this is going to be incredibly tough, especially giving reasons as well. It's just sometimes you like someone and you don't have a reason. Okay, Muta, Sheamus. Okay, next, my table keeps banging against the wall. DDP and Big E. Oh, these comments are going to be so bad when I rate some of your favorites low. It's just people don't understand the thing with opinions. KO, Jeff Hardy. Okay, I've got like a solid top 10 here for me already. I must just fill out the bottom half. Okay, KO can't go again, so I've got Nikita. And now I need 7 more. Yoko, Bam Bam. Okay. I've got quite a few solid people on here. Henry, Taker. And please also know this is going to be my opinion. It's not going to be based on... Okay, Bam Bam's already in this. So I've got Cody. And... Cody again. Okay, so I need 2 more. Just give me 2 stinkers so I can at least fill out the bottom half. Diesel and Macho. Okay, this is going to be tough ranking these. Okay, so let's start off with... We're going to go from 20 down to 1. Let's start off with Nikita at 20. Reason being, never really watched Nikita. I can't really give an informed opinion on Nikita. Just there's nothing for me to rank really there. Next, okay, who is contending for the bottom spot? See, I don't really have too many stinkers here. I'm going to put bottom spot as Diesel, simply because he was second fiddle to HBK in his own championship run. His championship run came in a time where WWE was not doing great, not necessarily due to any fault of his own, but just it wasn't a good time for the company. And I was watching wrestling, but I wasn't enjoying it that much. And I was a kid and I didn't enjoy it as much as I probably should have. Next. Okay. I put him above 2 others just because I don't want to deal with the comment section. 18 is going to be Muta, simply because I know Muta is fantastic. The 1 or 2 matches I've watched of him, he's brilliant, but I've always been a WWE guy. I've not really ever veered into much other things, and I'm not saying other companies are less than or anything. I've just always been a WWE guy, so that's the reason I'm putting Muta down there, just my opinion. And with that exact same sentiment in mind, I'm putting DDP at 17. Again, he came over to WWE and he was Undertaker's wife's stalker. I know in WCW he was the People's Champ, all of that, and he was incredibly over, but I'm going on what my wrestling experience was. Next, okay, now we're getting into some serious territory. Oh, this is so tough because there's only good ones pretty much left. I'm going to put Woods at 16. I think out of the New Day, in my opinion, the weakest member. Not physically, I'm talking about character-wise, everything. I think he's the weakest member. Kofi, obviously, bona fide main eventer. Big E, just one of the most beloved characters in all of wrestling. He's the weakest member out of the New Day. Next. Oh, this is so tough. Next, I'm going to put X-Buck. This is criminally low for X-Buck. He came up in a time where his style of wrestling was not really seen. He could get a great match out of anybody, and imagine him in today's companies, he would do fantastic, but there's so many good ones left that I have to put him at 15. 14 is going to go to Mark Henry. Mark Henry, world's strongest man, everything, but I think WWE somewhat dropped the ball with him with the whole Mae Young, all of that business. I think WWE severely dropped the ball with him, so that's the reason I'm putting him at 14. 13, is going to Bam Bam. I always say this, one of the most underrated big men ever. What he did at WrestleMania, I believe it was 4 with Lawrence Taylor, no, 2. WrestleMania 2, yes, 4 with the tournament. What he did there with Lawrence Taylor, he deserves a gold medal, but unfortunately there's so many GOATs on here that I have to put him somewhere lower. 12, it's going to be Macho, simply just because he came up in a time where the promos were too erratic and he was the king of erratic promos. And if there was Hogan and Macho, I preferred Macho, but there's so many on this list that I prefer to him, and that's why he's there. Number 11 is going to be Goldust. Again, incredibly underrated. He took a gimmick that most people would have failed with and absolutely excelled with it and became such an endearing character, and that's the reason I've got him at 11. Okay, 10 is going to go to Biggie. I think Biggie's fantastic, but unfortunately he's not quite going to crack the top of this list because just look at the names I've got left. So it's just, there's no specific reason. I think 10 through 5 is not going to be much of a specific reason. Just they're good, but just not on that upper echelon for myself personally. 9, I'm going to put Sheamus. He's got banger after banger after banger, but he's still not just going to not crack that top for me. And this is where people's really going to get upset. 8 is going to be Cody. I'm not the biggest fan of Cody. I think his chase was so much better than his title run. His chase was incredible to watch, but his title run has been lackluster at best, in my opinion. Next we are going to do 7 will be Yoko. One of the top 2 best big men ever, and I'm a big fan. He's probably my top 20 of all time, but unfortunately he's not going to crack that top spot on this. 6 is going to be KO, simply just because I think KO is fantastic, but the 5 GOATs left on this list, he's not going to crack the top spot with them left. 5 is going to be Y2J, one of the best guys to ever reinvent himself in wrestling. Fantastic, but again, there's 4 people on here that I prefer to him. 3 is going to be Edge, the ultimate opportunist. I enjoyed his character so much, and he was so good at what he did. So hated, but so good at what he did. So I think that's a fair spot for him. 3 is going to be Taker, simply because the other 2 guys are in my top 4 of all time. Taker, obviously one of the GOATs. That's why he's number 3 on this spot. And then 2 is going to probably be Jeff Hardy. As a kid, not a kid, teenager, when his music, well, that's technically you're still a child. When his music would hit, I would pop out of my chair. And then number 1, Mick Foley, one of the best people / characters in wrestling history, and he will always be in my top 3 of all time, or top 4. What do you guys think? How would you have rated it? And this was incredibly tough, and I know you're going to disagree with me, but that's fine. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.